What you're looking at right now is real footage.
Twisted through the power of AI.
Look, I'm not here to tell you the AI is the answer to everything. I'm just a filmmaker using a tool, showing others how it works. The speed at which this is evolving is kind of insane. So I just wanted to show you what's actually possible right now. And I'll be straight with you. Some of this stuff is a lot more impressive than I expected. And some of it might even make you a little bit
Uncomfortable.
And I already know that some of you are gonna hate this. So go down in the comments right now and let me know if you're team AI or not. The first shot that we're looking at is all real footage mixed with a pretty simple AI technique. Here's how it works. I put my camera on a tripod and then I filmed myself giving an Oscar-worthy performance. Don't hate, don't hate. And then I filmed the exact same shot without me in it, and the focus still locked on the spot that it was before. And then I brought everything into DaVinci Resolve, did a basic Rec 709 grade on it, and I exported a still frame from that clean plate. Then I went over to Higgsfield, I headed over to Nano Banana Pro, uploaded that still frame and prompted it to keep everything the same, but make the house collapse. And this is what I ended up with. And now I can start creating the background video. Now there's a few ways you can do this in Higgsfield, but what worked best for me was Cinema Studio. I basically uploaded my original still as my start frame and the newly generated collapsed house as my end frame. I think this is the part right here that actually makes a big difference, because instead of just relying on a text-based prompt, I'm giving the model a visual start and end state that gives much more control, and the results are going to be a lot better. And I gave it a prompt saying that I wanted to keep everything the same, but after a few seconds, the building will collapse. Now, it doesn't always work on the first try. Sometimes it takes a few generations to actually get it right. I like to think of each generation like a take on set. Sometimes you nail it on the first try, and sometimes you're 12 takes deep wondering what went wrong. But I mean, eventually you'll get it. From there, I brought the footage back into DaVinci Resolve and I placed it underneath the clip of me, and I used DaVinci Resolve's magic mask to mask myself out. And that's pretty much it. The cleaner your mask, the cleaner the results are gonna be. I mean, that's honestly pretty straightforward. But with this technique, you can really take it in a lot of different directions, and the creative ceiling is basically as high as your imagination. You can also use similar techniques to change parts of your environment by mixing parts of your real footage with AI generated surroundings. Here, I have a shot of me standing next to a window, and I want to keep me in the shot, but I want to change the window up a little bit by adding some elements to the outside. So here, I'm going to grab a still frame and export that image and head over to Nano Banana Pro, prompt it to keep everything the same, but change the outside of the window by adding a giant dinosaur. When that's done, I'm gonna go ahead and click on the image, then paint myself out using InPaint inside of Higgsfield. And when that's done, I'm gonna prompt it to take me out of the image. As you can see, I got a clean plate without me in it. Now I'm gonna head over to Kling and I'm gonna upload that clean plate that I just made, and then prompt it to keep everything in image 1 the same, however, animate the dinosaur outside of the window. And now you can see the before and the after. Then I'm going to head over to DaVinci Resolve and put my animated clean plate over the original clip. And instead of using the magic mask feature, I'm going to use a power window and place it over the part that I want removed.
I'm alive! This next part is all about visual effects, but before you go on, make sure to subscribe.
Before AI, if you wanted to have any kind of VFX in your shot, you had to learn like 5 different softwares, and it's just super time consuming. Not everyone has time for that. And in some cases, you also need a lot of computing power, and not everyone has that. Now look, AI hasn't replaced that, but it did open up a world to a bunch of different creators who have never had access to that before. Let me show you what I mean. Again, we're starting off from a real shot. I'm gonna grab a still frame right here, When I look straight into the camera, I bring that into Nano Banana Pro and I prompt it with something like extreme close-up of the subject's eyes, but their eyeballs are white. And as you can see, sometimes you get some weird results. But luckily, this is the exact one I was looking for. Next, I'll head over to Kling 3.0 video generation. I will upload my original still frame as my start frame, and that close-up shot we just generated is going to be my end frame. My prompt basically describes a continuous push in towards the eyes where the person closes and opens them, and when they open them, their eyes have turned white. As you can see, I was lucky enough to get this on my first generation, but sometimes we aren't so lucky. Are professional VFX artists gonna be better than this? Of course, for now anyways. But let me show you one more time. I've got two still frames here, one with my arm turned in one direction and one with it turned the other way. I'll take the second frame into Nano Banana Pro and ask it to turn my arm into water. Once I've got the image that I'm happy with, I'll upload that as my end frame in Kling 3.0 and the first still frame as my start frame. Then all we need is a simple prompt, something like, the person's arm turns into a liquid water-like state. And because I've got my arm turned in one direction as the start frame and the other direction as my end frame, there's a natural motion built into this transition, which is going to help sell the effect. So this is going to be a quick technique, but it's using AI to create impossible transitions, the kind of moves that would normally require a motion control rig or a full VFX pipeline to get the job done. Now for this to work, you need to pre-visualize your shot a little bit. So for the first shot, you can see that I'm seated on a park bench, and in the second shot, it's an over-the-shoulder shot of me looking at my phone, and I made sure to keep the focal point in the center of the frame for both of them. That's going to help with the smooth transition. Now I'll take the last frame from the first shot and the first frame from the second shot. Then I'll throw them in a Kling as my start and end frame, and I'll describe what I want the transition to be. You can play around with different prompts and different models to see what it comes up with, and you're not always going to get the best results, but I found that most of the time it actually works really well. The golden rule here is to shoot with the transition in mind. The more intentional you are on set, the better the results are going to be. So we've already seen how we can change our location in a more traditional way. However, Cinema Studio is so good at motion control, it takes it way beyond what I even thought was possible. Step 1 is to record a video of you walking or driving or doing whatever you want. So step 2 is going to be to create your location. So head over to any of the image generation models on the Higgsfield, give it a prompt describing your desired location. For example, I generated these in Higgsfield Seoul Cinema. Then in Higgsfield Cinema Studio, upload your original video and select the location image you generated. Now all you need is a pretty basic prompt just describing what you want to keep and what you want to change. And the results I got here were pretty impressive. Those are a few ways you can start mixing AI with real footage right now. And what I realized is that's not even the ceiling. Every few months, AI is taking a leap. Literally in the next couple months, there might be something outrageous that nobody's even seen before. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I know some of you are gonna hate it and some of you are gonna love it, and I'm still encouraging you guys to go down in the comments right now and let me know if you guys love it or you guys hate it. Tell me why. I really want to know why you guys hate it or why you guys love this. Are you afraid? Did it take your job? Did it take your chick? Nah, I'm just playing. But let me know. That's the end of this video. I'll see you guys later. Peace.